I've never liked being the center of attention, but today happiness pulled me straight into it. My veil floated with every laugh. Flashing cameras caught the glow of my brown skin. My hands, soft from years of massage work, trembled as I held Ethan's, the man I loved, my choice, my forever. He stood there, Ethan Carter, CEO of one of New York's biggest tech companies, looking at me like I was the best thing that had ever happened to him. My chest warmed just from his gaze. "Bigger smile," the photographer said. I grinned and leaned into him. His arm wrapped around my waist. He whispered in my ear, sending shivers down my spine. "Tonight, you're mine. All mine." I tapped his chest lightly with my bouquet, cheeks heating. "Stop it. People are watching." "Let them watch," he murmured. We posed, kissed the air for the camera, laughed at how absurdly perfect everything felt. I wished I could freeze time right there. Later, curled into him in the back of the Maybach, I couldn't stop smiling. My excitement was childish, uncontrollable. "Baby," I whispered, "today was perfect." "It was," he said, kissing my knuckles. But I wasn't done. My eyes sparkled and I leaned closer. "Want to hear my honeymoon plans?" I didn't wait for an answer. "First, a yacht in Santorini. Rooftop jacuzzi. Just the sea and us." Ethan blinked slowly. "Mandy." "And then," I whispered, my lips brushing his ear, "the penthouse kitchen in Miami. Marble countertop." He exhaled sharply. "You're going to be the death of me." I giggled. "And finally, a private beach in Malibu. Midnight. Barefoot. Under the stars." "Mandy, stop." He laughed, ears red. "I'm trying to stay sane." Every second sparkled like champagne. We even sang along to a soft love song from the car speakers. Terrible voices, but perfect in that moment. I felt full, warm, alive. And then, everything shattered. It wasn't a swerve. Not an accident. It was an attack. A huge black Cybertruck came out of nowhere. Fast, precise, deliberate. It slammed into our Maybach with a thunderous crash. Glass exploded around us. Metal screamed. I screamed as my seatbelt dug into my shoulder. The world twisted, flipped, spun, and then stopped. Smoke curled around the wreck like ghosts had claimed it. Ethan, are you okay?" I cried. He didn't answer. His eyes were wide, frozen on something beyond the cracked windshield. "Mandy, stay still." My heart froze. He wasn't looking at the wreck. He was looking at them. The truck door opened. A man stepped out. Impossibly calm. Black gloves. Black suit. Eyes like ice. Vincent Rourke. The most feared crime lord across New York and Miami. I'd heard the whispers, the rumors, but now he was real. More men followed him. Silent, disciplined, weapons hidden but deadly. My blood ran cold. "Ethan, who are they?" I whispered. I don't know," he said, his voice trembling. He fumbled for a gun. "Baby, don't." I grabbed his wrist. But he was desperate, terrified. Acting before thinking. "He's coming," I whispered. Vincent was stepping closer, each footfall like doom. He didn't rush. Didn't hesitate. Just came like death itself. Ethan finally raised the gun. But Vincent was faster. Cold, precise, bang, bang, bang. Ethan's head snapped back. Blood sprayed across my face. His body collapsed onto me. No. "Ethan!" I screamed, holding his lifeless face, sobbing, my wedding dress soaked in his blood. Everything I knew, everything I loved was gone. Silence. Vincent's gun lowered. His men stood like shadows. And I sat there, clutching Ethan, my hands red, my chest raw. Without a word, Vincent turned and walked toward the Cybertruck, his men following. My body shook. My voice cracked. But then something inside me snapped. I shoved Ethan's body off my lap, stood unsteadily and screamed. "How dare you! You monster! You devil!" Tears blurred my vision, but fury burned bright. He was my husband. My husband. How could you? Vincent stopped. Slowly he turned, his cold stare freezing me in place. He raised a hand slightly. "Kill her." Two men moved toward me, guns ready. "No. Please, don't." I sobbed. I didn't mean, please. My legs gave out, but I continued to plead. Raw fear mixed with defiance. Vincent watched me. Expression unreadable. Then finally he said, "Leave her. She might be useful Two men grabbed my arms. Let me go. I screamed, twisting, kicking, flailing. My wedding dress tangled around my legs, but I fought with everything I had. Stop struggling, one muttered. Leave me. I yelled, shaking, terrified, but I refused to give up. They dragged me to the truck. I screamed, clawed at the door, begged, but they didn't stop. Put her in the trunk, Vincent ordered flatly. No. Not there. Please. I'm scared, please, don't do this. They lifted me anyway. Darkness swallowed me as the trunk slammed shut. I sat on the cold metal floor, trembling, soaked in tears. Hours ago I had walked down the aisle hopeful in love. Now, a widow. Alone. Terrified. Locked in a cold metal coffin of a truck. My chest pressed against my knees. Why would they do this? The metal door clicked. Slowly Vincent stepped inside, calm, collected, guiltless. I flinched. Why did you kill him? I whispered. Heartbreak, no anger this time. Vincent didn't answer. Didn't blink. Didn't soften. Just stepped closer, shadow swallowing me. And I realized, my life would never be the same. He warning. The door swung open with a heavy thud and I jerked my head up instantly. Vincent Rourke stepped inside, dressed in a charcoal suit so sharp and dark he looked like a walking shadow carved out of stone. No greeting. No kindness. No humanity. Just his voice, cold enough to stop a heartbeat. I have visitors coming, he said. You will behave. No shouting. No whining. No yapping. His eyes sliced into me. Unless you want to see the real prison cell. The one men never walk out of. My fingers trembled as I pushed myself up from the floor, but my voice didn't shake. Do you even have a heart? I whispered, tears burning my eyes. You made me a widow on my wedding day. Does that mean nothing to you? He didn't blink. Not once. I don't have a heart, he said flatly. Stop testing for one. Something inside me lit on fire. Fear. Rage. Grief. Tangled into one dangerous knot. Well, I won't behave, I snapped. I want to go home. And if you don't let me go, I will scream this whole place down. He moved before I finished. Two fingers lifted my chin. A gun hovered under my jaw. His breath brushed my cheek. You open your mouth when my guests arrive, he whispered. And I'll put a bullet in your skull before you take your next breath. My lungs froze. He dropped his hand and walked out like my existence was nothing more than a problem he'd get around to erasing later. The meeting, from the hallway. I wasn't allowed inside the meeting room, but the doors were thin, and their voices carried. The cold, modern room buzzed with powerful men who ran New York from the shadows. One of them laughed. I'm glad you killed Ethan Carter, he said, like he was congratulating a business deal. He deserved it. Running off to New York to get married after stealing from us. Another voice, darker. He stole billions from the company. You trusted him. We all did. A glass clinked on a table. And your sister. Oz. Alyssa loved him. 3 years together. She thought the baby would fix everything. My breath caught. She was 8 months pregnant when he disappeared, the man continued. She died waiting for him to come back. Silence. Then Vincent Rourke finally spoke, sharp and deadly. He ran. He betrayed my family. He destroyed my sister. A chill ran through the room. He thought marriage would save him. A soft chuckle, empty of humor. So I sent him a wedding gift. My heart cracked. They were talking about my husband. The man I loved. The man they murdered. Vincent's chamber. The mansion went too quiet. Vincent stood alone in his private chamber, lights dim. Shadows stretching across the marble floor. In his hand, held far too gently, was a framed photo of a woman. Alyssa Rourke. His sister. His anchor. The only person he had ever been capable of loving. He traced her picture with a trembling thumb. Would you rest if she died? He whispered to the photograph. Mandy. The woman who married the man who destroyed you. His sentence broke. Then the pain hit him. Hard. A sharp, blinding ache behind his eyes. His ribs tightened. His breath staggered. He collapsed against the wall, knuckles white. The photo slipped and shattered on the floor. A guard burst in. Boss. It's happening again. Someone get your therapist, now. Another guard sprinted off. Seconds later he returned, panicked. She's not here. She left the estate. She's not answering her phone. Vincent's eyes darkened. A different guard, Antonio, stepped forward. Boss, I can try. Maybe if I massage your back. Vincent snapped his head up. If you touch me, I'll cut your hands off. Antonio swallowed hard. Then his eyes widened, remembering something. Boss. Mandy. The widow. Her file says she's a certified massage therapist. One of the best. Silence. Vincent hated the idea. Hated her. Hated needing her. But the pain was ripping him apart. Finally, with a cold exhale, he surrendered. Bring her. Mandy dragged in. They dragged me into the room, still in the shredded remains of my wedding dress. My eyes were swollen from crying, but I fought like a cornered animal. Let me go. I'm not helping him. I'm not touching that monster. They shoved me forward. I stumbled and froze. Vincent stood with his back to me, gripping a marble table so hard the veins on his arms bulged. His shoulders trembled. His breathing was ragged. But his voice was still ice. You will help me. And you will do it now. My hatred sharpened into a blade. You killed my husband, I whispered. I'd rather watch you collapse. His head turned slightly, one cold eye locking onto mine. Try it, he said. Let's see which one of us dies first. My heart slammed against my ribs. For the first time, I saw it. He wasn't invincible. He wasn't untouchable. He was broken. Haunted. A storm barely holding itself together. And right now, he needed me. A slow, dangerous smile lifted my lips. I'll do it, I said softly. I'll massage you. The guards exchanged confused glances. Vincent said nothing. He lay down on the massage table, his back bare, breath shaky. I stepped toward him, quiet, calm, deliberate. My hands touched his shoulders. Warm, soft, thick. He shuddered instantly. His breathing steadied. His muscles loosened. The pain faded under my palms. He had never felt hands like mine. Not in his entire life. I could feel the trust crawling into him against his will. And I used it. I leaned close. The next part needs an empty room, I said sweetly. And hot water. The guards obeyed instantly. The door clicked shut. We were alone. Vincent relaxed under my touch, fully surrendered. His eyelids fluttered shut. Then, my smile returned. Only this time it was pure madness. I slid my hands from his temples to his throat. He didn't notice. Not until I squeezed hard. His eyes flew open. You deserve to die, I hissed, tightening my grip. You deserve to join my husband in hell. My hands shook from rage and grief, but I didn't stop. Tears dripped onto his chest, burning both of us. I used every ounce of strength I had. And failed. Vincent grabbed my wrist. In one brutal motion he flipped me over, slamming me flat onto the mattress. Before I could breathe, he pinned me down, one hand gripping my neck. So you think you can kill me? His voice was fire and ice. I can kill anyone who hurts the people I love, I gasped, clawing at him. He laughed. Dark. Merciless. And did you hurt me? The cruelty sliced through me. You're a monster, I sobbed. The door burst open. Boss. Are you okay? Vincent didn't look up. Lock her in a real cell, he ordered, pressing my neck harder. Antonio snarled. We should hang her instead. She tried to kill you, boss. My throat tightened. You're wicked, all of you. My voice cracked. My scream echoed around the room. The heartbroken cry of a brand new widow. Trapped in a world darker than anything I ever imagined. The jail cell was colder than anything I had ever imagined, colder than hell itself. They'd forced me out of my shredded wedding dress and into a plain gray gown. My wrists throbbed where they'd held me too tight. My bare feet pressed against the icy concrete. I curled on the floor, knees to my chest, arms wrapped around myself. Eyes closed, tears refusing to stop. Grief had a sound. Mine. It was loud. Ethan. I whispered, voice breaking, cracking into the shadows. I'm sorry. A fresh wave of tears shook me. I'm sorry I couldn't protect you. I'm sorry I failed you. I'm sorry this happened to you. I pressed my palm against my chest as if I could hold my heart together with my hand. You didn't deserve this, I whispered through the sobs. You were a good man. You always protected me, always loved me, always promised me everything would be okay. I bit my trembling lip. And now I'm here, alone, in a cage, and I miss you so much. I missed his laugh. His smile. The way he gripped my hand like he'd never let go. Tears hit the concrete, one by one like fragments of my shattered world. If you can hear me, I whispered. Please don't forget me up there. Please. I covered my face and let out the cry I had held in since my wedding day. Raw, broken, heartbreakingly human. No one came to comfort me. No one. My sobs echoed through the underground corridors like a ghost mourning its own life. Upstairs the world was different. Warm lights. Expensive whiskey. Leather chairs. Power. Fear. Vincent Rourke sat behind his desk, face blank. Too blank. While two of his men stood rigid in front of him. One cleared his throat. Boss. That woman tried to kill you. You've never spared anyone who posed a threat. The other nodded. She's angry. Vengeful. She wants you dead, for her husband. Vincent leaned back slowly, emotionless, tapping a gloved finger on the desk. Mandy, he said low and deliberate, is powerless. She can't carry out a wish she doesn't have the strength for. His men exchanged glances. But, and, he cut in sharply, I brought her here for a particular reason. The room fell silent. A shadow passed over his eyes. Both men stiffened. One reason, one dared. Vincent didn't answer. He stood slowly, a cold smirk tugging at his lips, the first sign of emotion in days. Then he said it. A sentence that made even seasoned men feel fear crawl up their spines. And when she finds out that reason, she won't cry for her husband anymore. The sky above the Rourke estate was gray, heavy with rain. Vincent walked alone into the garden. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that made memories scream. He stopped in front of a white marble tombstone. Alyssa Rourke. Beloved sister. Forever missed. She was buried where the roses bloomed, where he could see her every morning from his window, where she once laughed as a child. His hand touched the stone. I'm here again, he murmured softly. Your brother is trying. The wind rustled the trees gently, listening, it seemed. I need to be strong when I think about you. I can't rely on a massage therapist every time I fall apart. I'm Vincent Rourke. I shouldn't depend on anyone. Weak people do. A bitter smile tugged at his lips. A memory hit him. He and Alyssa running barefoot in the same garden, laughing, shouting promises they believed would last forever. We'll grow old together. You'll never leave me. I'll protect you, Vincent. His stomach twisted. His breath hitched. He staggered. Boss, one of his men shouted, rushing to support him. Call Miss Harper, now. Within seconds she arrived, certified, frantic, professional. She knelt beside him in the garden, rain beginning to patter softly. Boss, lie back. Breathe. I'm here. Her hands moved expertly across his temples, down his back, pressing pressure points, rolling, kneading, soothing, everything she had mastered. Nothing. Cole. Mandy, Vincent growled. Even the rain seemed to pause. The guards hesitated. But she won't, one started. Cole. Her, Vincent snapped. They sprinted. Dragged into the garden, I stepped forward. Wrists raw, face swollen, expression hard as stone. I looked at him. Vincent. Trembling on the bench. And I didn't soften. I will not massage him, I said coldly. Please, Mandy, one of the men begged. You're the only one who can help him. I lifted my chin. Fine, I said. I'll help him. But on one condition. His eyes flicked weakly to me. You tell me, I said quietly, why you killed my husband. The rain seemed to stop. Vincent swallowed hard. Fine, he whispered. Just do it. Kneeling beside him, I touched his shoulders, steady, professional, almost angelic. Slow, deep kneads along the neck. Circles along the spine. Pressure points at the temples. Soft, rhythmic strokes to ease breathing. Within minutes, his chest rose steadily. His fingers unclenched. His heartbeat stabilized. No one else could calm him like this. No one. Harper gasped. The men whispered. Even Vincent's eyes narrowed slightly. I finished the massage and wiped my hands. You promised, I said coldly. Why did you kill my husband? Vincent stood, strength restored, eyes hard. Come to my chamber tonight. 9 p.m. He walked away, leaving me furious, terrified, hungry for revenge. I stood outside his door, fist raised, heart hammering. I knocked. "Come in," his calm voice said. I stepped inside and froze. Vincent stood by the window, shirtless, muscles carved like marble, scars slashing across his chest, violent, dangerous reminders of the world he lived in. Warm lamplight painted shadows over him. I didn't look. "I came for war." "Why did you kill my husband?" My voice cracked, but with fury, not fear. He didn't flinch. Didn't blink. "Ethan killed himself," he said slowly. "With lies. With betrayal." I scoffed. "Stop talking in riddles. He got my sister, Alyssa, pregnant, abandoned her for 9 months. She died a month before delivery." I blinked. Then laughed. Sharp, loud, almost crazy. "What kind of story is that? Ethan? My Ethan? The man who hated cheating? The man who lectured others about loyalty?" Vincent picked up his phone. A photo. Alyssa. 8 months pregnant. Radiant, lonely. My smile died. "That's Alyssa," Vincent said. "Pregnant. By your saint of a husband." "Impossible," I whispered. "My Ethan, he's never into white women, he always." Vincent let out a short, cruel laugh. "You trusted the wrong person." He grabbed my wrist, pulled me down the hallway. He stopped at a door, opened it, and I stepped into a world I never should have seen. Alyssa's room. Photos everywhere. Displayed. Of Ethan in a suit beside her in a white dress. Ethan and Alyssa laughing at a picnic. Cinema trips. Hotel lobbies. Beach days. A full double life. I staggered. Then came the photo that shattered me completely. Ethan kneeling, kissing Alyssa's pregnant belly, his palms cupping her stomach with pure tenderness. His eyes, soft. Love. Committed. A version of him I had never seen. My knees gave out. I crumbled to the floor, palms slapping the carpet as my breath shook violently. Tears hit the ground before I even realized I was crying. "No, no, no," I whispered. He couldn't. I shut my eyes so tightly that darkness burst behind them. Maybe I was dreaming. Maybe I was hallucinating. Maybe Ethan had a twin. Anything. Anything but this. But when I opened my eyes, the pictures were still there. My life was still a lie. Then I saw her, Alyssa. Her face so familiar, so heartbreakingly real. "She came to my massage clinic," I whispered, my voice hollow. "Second trimester. Looked so sad. I even cracked a joke to cheer her up, but she didn't smile. My hand flew to my mouth. My shoulders shook violently. She was suffering. And it was because of him. Vincent stepped closer, silent, his jaw tight, watching me crumble. And suddenly I understood. My world was burning. And this was only the beginning. I stayed on the floor, staring at nothing. My tears didn't stop. They streamed silently, hot, endless, merciless. I had never imagined this. Never imagined that the man I married was already someone else's husband. Already expecting a child. Already building a life. Somewhere else with someone else. "Why, Ethan?" I whispered into the empty air, voice trembling. "Why did you marry me if you already had a wife? Why did you lie to me? Why did you kill an innocent woman?" My shoulders shook as I looked at the photographs again. Alyssa smiling weakly, Ethan holding her belly proudly. "Why did you run?" I choked out, staring at my trembling hands. "Why did you leave them? Why did you leave me?" Vincent leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed, watching me fall apart. His voice was low, almost reluctant when he finally spoke. "Because he fell in love with you." I whipped my head up, eyes swollen. "That is not love," I spat, breathing hard. "That is destruction. That is cruelty." My chest tightened painfully, breaths sharp and uneven. It felt like my heart couldn't fit inside my body anymore. I ran. I didn't look at him. I didn't look at the photos. I ran straight to my room, slammed the door shut and collapsed onto the bed. No screaming. No crying now. Just shock. A dead, heavy silence wrapped around me as I lay there. 5 months. 5 months of warmth, touches, promises, laughter. 5 months of believing I was special. 5 months of lies. My mind replayed every memory. The way Ethan held my waist, the way he brought me flowers, the way he whispered that I was his piece. All of it, poisoned. I sank deeper into the mattress, into darkness, into a reality I couldn't escape. Morning. I moved like a ghost. When I entered the large dining hall, Vincent was already seated at the massive table, a file in one hand, coffee in the other. He didn't look at me. He didn't speak. He acted as if I wasn't there. For once, I didn't front, didn't glare, didn't curse him. I quietly sat across from him. Vincent. My voice was small, broken. I'm sorry. His eyes lifted a little, surprised. I continued before he could speak. And, I'm sorry about your sister. I know what it feels like to lose someone. I lost my parents years ago. A long silence. Then he stood up. Not your fault, he said simply. No softness. No sympathy. Just the truth. I swallowed, watching him prepare to leave. Something inside me refused to remain silent. Why did you bring me here? I asked. He paused. His back still turned to me. His body went stiff, like I had touched a nerve. He didn't answer immediately. Don't worry about it, he finally said. My brows knitted. No. I deserve an explanation. I deserve to know why. But he was already walking away. His bodyguards fell into formation behind him, their black suits swallowing him as they escorted him out. I remained at the table, fists clenched. His car engine roared to life. Tires screeched softly against the gravel. The mansion gates opened. As the car disappeared down the driveway, I muttered under my breath. Very rude human being. But my voice lacked its usual fire. Because beneath my anger, beneath my confusion, something else was beginning. A shift. A question. A dangerous curiosity. He could have killed me, but he brought me here. I froze the moment I saw him. Vincent pacing inside his room like a man carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. His body tense, his skin almost humming with electricity. My chest tightened. Something dangerous was stirring. When he finally collapsed onto the bed, shirtless, breath shallow, hands trembling, I felt a strange mix of fear and curiosity. A knock echoed through the room. I raised my brow. Who is there? His voice, low and clipped, didn't match the tension in the air. Silence. I stepped forward anyway, brushing past him like I owned the space. I didn't wait for permission. He blinked. Shut the door. Reopened it. Shut it again. A confused man. If he wanted to win me, he couldn't act clueless. I walked closer. Calm, composed. I saw you by your sister's grave, I said softly. I thought I should be a nice neighbor. His brow arched. Neighbor. I came to give you a massage. I didn't give him time to protest. I grabbed his hand, tugged him down onto the bed and pushed him to lie flat. My palms warmed his shoulders, sliding into position with the confidence I had spent years perfecting. I felt him. Every twitch of muscle, every sharp inhale. Every time my fingers pressed into him, I sensed something shift inside him. My heart thudded in response, not out of desire, but because I realized how deeply he could feel. Are you going to tell me, I asked quietly, why you brought me here, since you're obviously not killing me? He caught his breath. I kept moving, unaware what I was unlocking. Hi besties, if you're enjoying this story, kindly subscribe to our channel. Slowly he sat up. He cupped my face gently. My heart stuttered. Then impossibly he leaned closer. Our lips met. At first soft. Questioning. Hesitant. Then his restraint broke. His lips memorized mine. My body stiffened, confused, shocked. 1 second I kissed him back and the next I shoved him away. What the heck was that? I shouted, my voice trembling. Are you insane? Mandy. Why did you kiss me? I demanded. Why did you bring me here? What do you want from me? He looked away. Then back. Then, the truth spilled out. I fell in love with you, he said quietly. At first sight. I couldn't let you go. I froze. My chest heaved. Anger bubbled, sharper than before, deeper, raw. So you stole my life? I whispered. Because of your feelings? Because you were attracted? Because you fell in love. He tried to reach for me. I slapped his hand away. I don't feel the same way, Vincent, I said, voice shaking. I'm still trying to process everything. Then, your sister. This madness. I stepped back. I reject your feelings. And I need space. A lot of it. I'm leaving. Don't find me, I added as I walked to the door. Not tonight. The door shut with finality. I felt the emptiness settle around me. But beneath the hurt and confusion, something dangerous stirred. A question. A curiosity. Back at work, I moved like a ghost. The moment I stepped into the office, the world seemed to notice. Mandy. Oh my God, you're back? We called you. I even went to your house. I tried to smile. Not. Accept their relief. But my heart wasn't here. It was tangled somewhere between fear and Vincent's kiss. The cream-colored envelope landed in my hands. Sealed with gold. My Mandy. This is the 12th letter. The last one. I told myself I would try 12 times. Not to pressure you, but to prove to myself that I fought for you the way I should have fought for myself years ago. When you disappeared, I realized something terrifying. I wasn't breathing. Felt like someone had unplugged the world. I know you're scared, but so am I. I'm scared of losing the woman who makes the room feel less lonely just by existing. If this letter reaches your heart and you don't want me, I will walk away. Not because I want to, but because I promised. But Mandy, if there is even one tiny part of you that wants me, I will spend my life earning the rest of your heart. Vincent. I set the letter down. My chest ached. Warm, heavy, overwhelming. I didn't reply. Not that day. Not the next. No flowers. No notes. Nothing. And then I remembered the kiss. His hands on me. His breath. The warmth. The hunger. The gentleness. I couldn't take it anymore. I grabbed my coat. Took the fastest ride to his mansion. Heart racing. Excited. Hopeful. I froze. A stunning woman stood with him, adjusting his tie, leaning close and kissed his cheek. My stomach twisted. Breath shattered. Why does this hurt so much? He has every right to move on. Mandy. His voice. Cling. Warm. Addictive. I stepped forward. Nothing. There's no need to explain anything. He came closer. I could smell him. The heat, the life, the danger. How did I lose such a gem? I muttered, pain lacing the words. I turned to leave. His hand wrapped around my wrist, pulling me against his chest. Don't you want me to move on? A small, helpless whisper escaped. No. His eyes softened. No. Why? I think I like you too. He smiled, slow and relieved. That's my cousin Mira, he introduced. I blinked, embarrassed. He lifted my chin. Mandy, I love you enough to match your pace. If you walk slow, I'll walk slow. If you stop, I'll wait. If you run. I didn't run, I whispered. I came to you. His smile widened, tender. That's even better. He cupped my face with both hands. Mandy, can I kiss you? I nodded. When our lips met, everything melted. Gentle, warm, careful. Then hotter, hungrier. My hand slid to his chest, his arm wrapped around my waist. Our breaths tangled, hearts pressed together. He pulled back slightly. Whispered. You're stuck with me now. I smiled breathlessly. Good. Because I don't want to run anymore. He chuckled softly. And for the record, if you ever try to ignore me for 12 days again. What? I teased. I'll show up at your office with a megaphone and embarrass both of us. I laughed and he kissed me again. Deeper, slower, hotter. The beginning of something real. Something healing. Something beautiful. Think.